Hi, my name is Dave, your scheduling specialist for Just Planet. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about a challenge that some of my customers are having and an opportunity to help you eliminate that challenge in the future. So before I do that, just to kind of remind you a little bit about where I am right now, I am in Just Planet's environment. I am looking at the jobs view right now under the understanding schedule. And of course, what it's showing you is your list of jobs and the priority that you decide that you want them in. Of course, you know that if I want this job to be a higher priority over this job, you can just drag and drop that too as well. And if I do make that change, what it'll do is effectively change the entire schedule. Unless I have a frozen operation, which is the one here with the hand that will stay where it is. And of course, it just rescheduled everything. If there was an impact when I did that, you notice that in this case here, I lost about 3,000 in revenue by making that change. So of course, that's important to know. Some people think it's important to know when I am scheduling to have other attributes or other KPIs involved with my strategies. So I'm going to undo that. Other information that is very valuable when I log into Just Planet in the job view is the status of all my work. And I already mentioned that this job is frozen, but it's also running close to out of time, all right? And that's what that orange with a 0.34 in it. It's saying that we're on time, but we're getting close to that delivery time, all right, currently being planned. These jobs are doing okay. And of course, the oranges show you that. So that severity of how close I am to whether or not I'm going to make my delivery date is in those numbers there. And of course, now I've got a yellow job here too. And that yellow job saying that that job is on time. And I've got a little more buffer in that case. So I'm comfortable with that one too. If my schedule has oranges and yellows in it, I'm doing a pretty good job of making sure I get good utilization of my workforce out there. And of course, I also have jobs that are dark blue and a light blue here, and then a gray color here. That's the different types of jobs. One being release, which is a dark blue. The light blue is ordered. And then I have a quoted job down here too as well. And that's so that I can allocate that capacity for a future order that I might be receiving. Now, today, what I want to talk to you a little bit about is a challenge that some customers have where they'd like to have an operation finish and start in the same shift or day. Now, I'm going to do that by taking a look at this particular job, and I'm selecting it now. You'll notice that I've just basically brought it into highlighted zone here, and you notice that that job has a cutting, and then I machine it. Now, the machining requires a person and a machine. So you notice that when I finish my cutting, all right, which starts, and of course the shift ends here, and I've got my shift returns the following day, and I finish up the cutting, and then I go on to the next step, which is machining. Now you notice the machining step is starting right after the operation for cutting. Now that's good for some people. Sometimes we want to control that. We want to make sure that that operation starts and finishes in the same shift in this case, all right? So how do I do that? What I'm going to do now is edit the job, and I'm going to add a new task to that. All right, and I'm going to call that task 15 or number 15. Of course, that drops it in between here. We're going to actually call that a prep operation, and that might be a setup. I probably should spell that correctly. And then if I go over here to the operation resource group that I'm using, I'm going to use this thing called the operation prep. All right. I'm going to set my sequence up correctly or my predecessor arrangements up correctly. So I'm going to redo this. I'm going to actually just say that I'd rather have that one follow that one. So in other words, I have to finish 10 before I can do 15 and 20. Of course, I can do that too. Now you could also change this to, and you know that within Just Planet, where you could actually just have it so that the 10 and 15 need to be done before 20. Now what I'm going to do is, of course, change that. I'm going to bring that to the way I want it this way here. This prep operation is a setup characteristic, and it takes about an hour. And I'm going to tell it to use a specific resource, and that is going to be making sure that I have it starting early in the morning so that I have plenty of time to finish it within that same shift. I'm going to also use a characteristic here that's called this task connection. It's something that was added recently with a new release. And I'm going to go in here, I'm going to say I'm going to have it controlled by 15. So in other words, I want operation 15 to finish, and then immediately the machining starts after that. All right, so, and that's a called task connection in there. When I say OK to that, of course, it's going to reschedule it using the automatic scheduling tool. And you notice now it finishes the operation here, the cutting, and then I send it. Now you notice there's a gap here, and that's on purpose. All right, we make sure that the prep starts and then the machining starts right after that. So of course I'm finishing that in the same shift, if you will. So I'm going to show you how we set that up now. Okay, so now let's go over to the group view. All right, and let's take a look at the specifics of this operation prep group. All right, so, and you notice that I've got some resources in here with some definitions. And the definition is really a time availability for them. Notice that for the prep step here, I only give it a 1 hour availability. In other words, Monday through Friday. And it has to be done within that 6 to 7 time frame. So it gives the rest of the day for the next operation to complete. All right. And of course, you could have other characteristics too. In fact, in here, you could actually have one that says I could start a job early in the morning, and it's a 4-hour type operation, and that will finish, we know, within the same with the same shift. Or I might be able to start that midday, and I still have 4 hours to do that. So that's why I have my availability there. I might like it to work. I might like certain operations to start on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, or Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you see how I can be very creative with this. And of course, the scheduling is automatic based on that. So it's a very powerful tool. And of course, if you've got many of these kinds of jobs mixed in with other jobs that don't require it, of course, some automatic scheduling tool with the matrix that we've set up for this will automatically set up a schedule for you, and accurately too as well. Okay, that concludes our session for today. Hopefully you found this informative. Of course, you can always reach out to us and ask for some help, and just reach out through our website or give us a call, email, and we certainly can help you through this process. Thank you for attending, and I look forward to helping you in the future.